Hello guys, my name is Kongzi, and I'm your resident Samurai main. Today I'll be going over the class changes that's been going on with Samurai from Shadowbringers to Endwalker, and I'll be explaining how to operate this new version of the job. First and foremost, I want to get this out of the way really quickly. I am by no means an expert on Samurai or anything like that. I'm not a top 1% parser. I am simply a Samurai main from Shadowbringers, now adjusting to the new reality of the job in Endwalker, and I would like to share what I've learned and tips and tricks for optimizing the job here in Endwalker with you guys. One final note here before we actually get into the swing of things. I am not going to be using all the Japanese names for the skills that Samurai possesses, because doing that I think would just confuse me and confuse you. I have played this job for so long and I still cannot link the actual ability names to their actions. If someone woke me up in the middle of the night, I'd have no idea what they're fucking talking about if they're asking me to do the fucking Namikiri Ding Dong combo, okay? I can't do that, so... There are 4 abilities, however, that I will be referring to in their original Japanese name, and these 4 abilities are Midare Setsugeka, Ogi Namikiri, Meikyo Sushi, and of course, Kaiten. These abilities are very important, and I'll explain in detail as we get into the actual video here. But just for now, pay attention to these and pay your respects, because goddamn, they will give you the DPS you need and crave. If you got the job to 90, you probably know the basics of Samurai by now, but just in case someone's entirely new to the job, maybe you boosted it or something like that, let me try to quickly explain what it's about. So basically, what does Samurai do? It collects these stickers down here, as you can see in the bottom middle of my screen. These are very important for your rotation, so you need to pay attention to these gauges, both the sword here and the free stickers, very closely. Put them somewhere on your screen that you can easily look, alright? Now, what happens is we want to collect these stickers, so how do we do that? Well, we do our combos. So you have 3 single target combos. Every combo you do gives you one of these stickers right here, okay? Let me just get the last one here. Now we have 3 stickers. So what do you do with the stickers once you have them? Okay, you have this skill right here, Kaiten. It enhances your next attack by 50%, as you can see. So you want to use this whenever you're about to do a big attack. And with 3 stickers, we can do the attack called Midare Setsugeka that I mentioned earlier. This is very important for your DPS. Keep this in mind. Now, another important one is if you collect just 1 sticker, like this, you can use the same skill and apply a dot on the enemy. So this is the other important one. You need 1 sticker for the dot, 3 stickers from Dari. Very important to mastering Samurai, okay? You want to keep this dot on at all times, and I'm going to show you later how to keep that on with almost no downtime when we get to the actual rotation part of the video. But you do that. You understand that if you get 2 stickers, you can use an AoE attack instead. You don't want to be doing this in Savage Rage, but let's say you're in a dungeon or something. Let me actually just get it here quickly. If you're in a dungeon and there's a ton of mobs or something, you definitely do want to be getting 2 stickers. Like this. Then you use this attack again, right here, Iai Jutsu. Oh shit, I said it in Japanese, oh well. And that's a good AoE attack. Alright, so that's the basics right there. Apply your dot, use Midare, okay? Now, you also have this attack right here, Meikyo Sushi. And this is very important as well, because if you use this, you can get the stickers that I just talked about instantly by just pressing the finisher of all of your combos. Like this. There you go, we already have the 3 stickers, and we can fire off a Midare. Very nice, right? Now, this is actually something that's changed a bit from Shadowbringers, because you used to only be able to get these 2 buffs down here, which is a damage buff and a skill speed buff. You used to only be able to get these from doing your single target combos like this. But now we have them both, see? But in Endwalker, you can get these by pressing Meikyo Sushi as well and just attacking, finishing your combos like this. That makes it way easier to keep up the buffs at all time, and I'd say it makes it so you don't really have to worry a lot about keeping them up, because it almost happens automatically while you're just doing your combos or you're doing your bursts, whatever. unless the boss jumps away at some point and there's a long period of downtime. In which case, I'd say when it comes back, use Meikyu Sushi to get the buffs back as soon as possible and then finish with the Midare, okay? Alright, we have Third Eye for mitigation right here. This is your personal mitigation. It reduces damage by 10%, and if something hits you, it's a very short period of time. As you can see, it's 3 seconds long. If something hits you in that time, you get more of the gauge right here. So you want to be using this right before a raid wipe or something like that, maybe a stack. And that's about all there is to that. They changed this as well, which is a bit of a downgrade in my opinion, but that's fine. Let's not talk about that. Alright, what else do we got? We have this attack right here, which is your Kinky Gauge Generator, as I like to call it. If you use this, you instantly get 50 of this gauge right here, okay? So you can spend it as you like. But this also activates the level 90 ability, and one of the most important abilities that I also mentioned before, Ogi Namikiri. Okay, you want to get this ready, and it's ready for about 30 seconds, as you can see here. It's about to fall off now. You use Kaiten before you pull that off, and you can use it again, like that. That's a big attack. You want to be doing that all chances you get. Okay, don't let it fall off, because that's a huge DPS loss. Alright. Another important thing to note about it is, you need to Kaiten the first hit, but the second hit does not get affected by Kaiten, so don't worry about spending your gauge on Kaiten 2 times for that attack, okay? Just for the first one. The second one is all good. Another important ability I almost forgot about is this one right here. It's called Hagakure. Yes, it's in Japanese, god damn it. Let's say you accidentally applied 1 sticker too many, and you kind of wanted to apply the dot, but oh no, you accidentally got 2 stickers instead. What do? You could finish it with a Midare, which is what I recommend, but you can also use this. And it basically converts your stickers into this gauge right here. So you have more power on your OGCD abilities. That's a really good way of doing it. Another efficient use of this is optimizing for the rotation, but we're taking a look at that when we get into the actual rotation. What else? When you do your finishing attacks here, you get these meditation stacks, as you can see under the sword. When those 3 are filled up, you want to be using this attack, Shoha, like that. You just use that in between your combos. It's off global cooldown, so you can just spam it whenever it's ready. There is one more thing I need to talk about. Let's see here. If you get a Midare ready, like this, you then fire it off. Then this ability right here is ready as well. This is your booster ability. It basically does Midare again, but stronger. So you want to be pressing this as well, right after the Midare. And in Endwalker, you actually have 2 stacks of this, along with Meikyu Sushi, which kind of confused me at first, and that's why we're going to take a look at how to actually efficiently use these in combat in the next section of the video. Alright, so here we are at the training dummy. Firstly, I'm just going to let the opener play out in its full glory, and then we'll break it down afterwards. Alright, so there we go. Definitely feels a bit longer than the original opener for Shadowbringers. So let's rewind the footage now and take a look at what's happening here. So already before the countdown has ended, we're gonna stop here and take a look, because this is actually significantly different than what it was in Shadowbringers. In Shadowbringers, you really didn't have to do anything while the countdown was going on. Samurais were just kind of there twiddling their thumbs. But in this one, since you can now get the buffs, the attack speed buff and the damage buff from just finishing your combos with Meikyu Sushi, you actually start with that. So I'm popping that here. Just an important note here, you do actually start with the attack that gives you the damage buff first. This is a reversal of what it was in Shadowbringers, where you would kind of get the attack speed buff first and then go for the damage buff. But since you can now get both buffs so quickly with Make You Sushi, you do start with the damage buff. Alright, so there's a lot happening at the beginning here, but let's break it down. As you can see, we're just basically collecting the stickers so that we have enough for the first Madare. I collect the red sticker second, and that's very important because it does give you the attack speed buff, so definitely make sure that's your second attack you're due here. While we're doing that though, we are popping the sword gauge generator that also activates Oki Namikiri. And that's an important step to do. You want to be popping that right after you collect the red sticker. So right after you get that, you pop the sword gauge generator. So you have Oki Namikiri ready, but don't use it yet. Then you collect the third sticker, and you, somewhere in between all this, you have to use your big OGCD single target attack, the double swords crossing stuff. I think I did it here after the third sticker has been collected, but it's really up to you when you use it. Just make sure to use it early so that you have it ready for later. Finally, in this section, we finish off with a Madare and then the booster attack for Madare immediately after. So now we've used one stack of Make You Sushi and one stack of the booster Madare. Alright, so immediately after popping that booster attack for Madare, you use the other stack of Make You Sushi. And then you grab one of the buffs, it doesn't really matter at this point, just grab one of them so you can apply the dot. Alright, so immediately after applying the dot, you grab another sticker, again it doesn't really matter which one, and then finally we get to pop our load here, and we use Ogi Namikiri along with second Ogi Namikiri that you can do. I forgot to mention this earlier, but you do want to be using Kaiten before any of your applying dot or Madare attacks. Remember that. The same goes for the first Ogi attack, but as I said in the introduction, you don't really need to use Kaiten again for the second Ogi attack, so just for the first one. Alright, so what you do here at the end is, you grab one of the other stickers. I'd recommend one of the free hit combos, one that you still need. Then you grab the last sticker via your normal combo, because now Make You Sushi has run out. And then you finish with a Kaiten Madare into the booster attack for Madare. This opener is quite busy, especially compared to the last one I feel, but with some time and practice it isn't actually that bad and you can master it easily. Alright, so what do you actually do after you finish your opener? Well, pat yourself on the back first and foremost, because if you just did all of that, you're probably at the top of the DPS meter at the moment. Probably the only time in the fight, but hey, let's not sweat the details. But what we're actually doing here is just basic stuff. We're collecting stickers, finishing with Madare, using some OGCDs here and there just to make sure we don't cap our gauge. So it's just basic stuff until this point right here. This is where it once again gets interesting, because this is the part where we have to kind of smoothly connect our Make You Sushi and our Madare booster attack to make sure we use the stacks we're getting properly. And there's actually a very simple trick to this. I'll try to explain it as best I can. If you take a close look at this booster ability right here, I've tried to zoom in a bit. You can see there's 7 seconds left on the clock, and that actually tells me that I need to use Make You Sushi. This countdown is something you should be watching a lot of the time while playing. And I'll try to explain why. So this here's a moment right before I use Make You Sushi. I've looked down at my cooldown. It says 7 seconds left. I know at this point I have to get one sticker, which I already have, as you can see, because 7 seconds is just enough time for me to get the last 2 stickers, use a Madare, and then the booster ability will be ready on the second. So I will use that. Let me show you. So we pop Make You Sushi, we collect one sticker, the second sticker, and then we use Madare and the booster attack the moment it becomes ready. Now there's another reason you want to use Make You Sushi to kind of get to this point, and I'll show you in the coming clip here. So we have one stack left of Make You Sushi, we use that to get a sticker, and then we apply the dot the second it actually was about to fall off. And that's why Make You Sushi is such a good tool for lining up everything. So you want to make sure you don't use the stacks unless your next burst window is coming up. Alright, so at this point there isn't actually much left to say. While you're not in your burst window, basically all you do is just collect free stickers, use Midari, because your dot is on there and everything's on cooldown pretty much. Your sword gauge generator is bound to come back for the next burst window, so you just use it as you would while you're collecting the stickers. You have your Ogi ready. Make sure to still line up your booster attack Midari first and get the dot on there before firing off the Ogi Namikiri combo. And you should be good, just keep on going. So before we actually move on to the final section of the video here, let's just take a moment to go through a few tips and tricks you can use and apply to your gameplay as Samurai. So first up we have keep your dot on at all times, and this is kind of self-explanatory, but your dot is a huge part of your sustain damage, so you should really make sure it's on there at all times. Try to line it up as we showed here in the video before, and you'll be good. Keep that on there. Alright, we've kind of talked about this one already, but your Make-You sushi stacks are really important to keep. Don't just spam the button if you see it's ready. I know it's really tempting to do when you see you have one stack of something that powerful, but try to save it for when it lines up with your Midari booster attack. Keep an eye on that cooldown timer, and just remember when the clock strikes 8 or 7, it's time for sushi, okay? That's when you press the button. Now this next one is important for Samurai, but it's kind of important for every job out there. If you miss your burst window or something like that, you see that's not everything's going to your plan, don't panic, just keep pressing some buttons. Like, it's better to press any random button on your hotbar than it is to just stand there thinking about it. I know it's strange, but believe me, you have to press buttons. And don't panic, because you'll get on track. Like, with 2 stacks of Make-You Sushi and 2 stacks of the booster attack, I feel like Samurai is a bit easier now to line up and kind of recover from any mistakes you make. So don't worry about it, okay? You'll be fine, just press those buttons. Alright, this one's a little bit tricky, but it's important as well. You do want to be using your OGCDs, and you always want to make sure you have enough sword gauge for your Kaiten before your big attacks. That's a very important part of it. But you also want to make sure that the sword gauge does not cap at any point, and it can be kind of tricky when you're using the Make-You sushi window, and you're kind of getting gauge all the time. But you have to fire off some OGCDs. Ideally, you want to save the OGCDs for the raid-wide burst window where all the party buffs are going up. But that's not always possible, so try to just keep it at a middle and try to always keep it above 20 so you can have Kaiten at any point you want. Alright, this video is turning into a mammoth at this point, so I'll keep this section kind of short. As Samurai, you ideally want to get enough skill speed so that you're within 3 skill speed ranges. This is kind of complex stuff. It's kind of tricky, because you kind of want to be melding into a certain skill speed range so you don't arrive too early at your destination, if you know what I'm saying. So it's a bit tricky, but if we talk about the stats after that, you're in the skill range you want. You have a free choice of crit, direct hit, and determination. In Shadowbringers, crit was the be-all end-all stat for Samurai, but this has kind of changed in Endwalker, and right now it's a bit up in the air whether you go for one or another. They all have their pros and cons. So until the calculations arrive from the new Savage tier, I think this is what we're working with. I should say, at the time that this video is releasing, the Savage tier just came out, so all of this is subject to change, and that's why I would encourage you highly to go over to the Balanced Discord. That's where I'm getting all of this information about stat priority and stuff, because otherwise I would have no clue. I just press buttons. I'm a monkey, okay? Go check that out. I'll put a link to it in the description below. It's a wild time for Samurai at the moment, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. It turned out to be a huge, huge video. I don't know what happened, but here we are. I don't usually do these type of guide videos, but I hope you enjoyed. I do have some older Final Fantasy content out there. I find it a bit cringeworthy at this point, but if you're interested, you can go watch. Otherwise, I'm mostly live on Twitch, at twitch.tv/Kongzi. I hope I will see you there. And otherwise, enjoy playing Samurai. It's the best job.